If a tree falls in a forest and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? This question might seem like a puzzle or a philosophical thought experiment. But in Zen, there are questions that don't just make you think, they break thinking entirely. Consider this classic Zen koan. What is the sound of one hand clapping? You might smile, you might frown, but more importantly, your logical mind might short-circuit, even if just for a moment. And that's the point. In Zen Buddhism, koans are not riddles with answers. They are paradoxes designed to shock, awaken, and transform. They're tools that point not to solutions, but to silence. Not to reason, but to realization. Today, we're diving into the strange and beautiful world of Zen koans, where paradox is not a bug in the system, but a feature of awakening. Welcome to the unfolding journey, your space for exploring timeless wisdom, Eastern philosophy, and the still, powerful truths behind spiritual practice. If you're searching not just for answers, but for deeper insight into how to live, you've come to the right place. Let's unfold this mystery together. The word koan originated in China as a term for a public case, a legal precedent used as a guide. But in Zen, it took on a deeper spiritual meaning. A koan is a short anecdote, dialogue, or question used by Zen masters to challenge students and provoke awakening. Koans are not meant to be understood intellectually. In fact, they deliberately evade logic. They are designed to expose the limits of rational thinking and encourage the practitioner to look beyond mind-made constructs. Zen Buddhism, especially in its Rinzai form, embraces paradox as a core teaching method. Unlike Western logic, which seeks consistency and clarity, Zen uses paradox to deconstruct the ego and free the mind from dualistic thinking. Why? Because Zen views enlightenment not as a new idea to learn, but as a direct experience beyond thought. Paradox is the perfect tool for this. It unseats the mind. It creates a mental gap. And in that gap, something unexpected can arise, not understanding, but awakening. Let's look at a few famous koans and unpack their paradoxical nature. 1. What is the sound of one hand clapping? This question, attributed to Hakuin Ekaku, is one of the most well-known koans. At first, it appears absurd. One hand cannot clap, or can it? The point isn't to figure it out. The point is to experience the silence and presence that arises when the rational mind fails. The student might wrestle with it for months, even years. But eventually, something clicks, not in the head, but in the heart. 2. Does a dog have Buddha nature? A monk asked Master Zhaozhou, "Does a dog have Buddha nature?" Zhaozhou replied, "Mu. No or emptiness." This is shocking because Mahayana Buddhism teaches that all beings have Buddha nature. So why would the master say no? Mu is not a factual answer. It's a gate, a key. The student must go beyond concepts like yes and no to experience truth directly. 3. If you meet the Buddha, kill the Buddha. This line startles many. How can a Buddhist teaching say such a thing? But this koan is not encouraging violence. It's revealing attachment. If you cling to an idea of the Buddha as something external, you've already missed the point. Kill the idea of Buddha so the reality can emerge. Zen training often involves a one-on-one relationship between a master and a student, especially in the Rinzai tradition. Students are given koans to meditate on and must present their insight, not a verbal answer, but a demonstration of understanding. This could be a gesture, a silence, a shout, a laugh, anything that reveals direct perception. One student, when asked about a koan, simply walked up and blew out a candle. The master immediately saw the realization. Koans are not solved, they are embodied. Paradox works because it disrupts habitual thinking. When you're faced with an impossible question, your mind tries to fix it, explain it, or reject it. But eventually, it exhausts itself. And in that exhaustion, where thoughts collapse, you're left with only awareness. Pure, undivided, silent awareness. That is where Zen begins. Language divides the world. This and that, self and other, right and wrong. But Zen seeks the non-dual, and words cannot grasp the non-dual. Paradox, therefore, becomes a backdoor out of the prison of words. When a master says, "The flag is not moving, the wind is not moving, your mind is moving," they are pointing past language to a deeper truth, that reality is shaped by perception. In a world obsessed with productivity, rationality, and fast answers, koans are more relevant than ever. They remind us that not everything needs to be solved, that some of life's deepest truths come not from thinking, but from being. Practicing with koans can deepen mindfulness, loosen rigid thought patterns, Break the illusion of the separate self. Awaken creative insight. Many therapists and artists now draw inspiration from koan practice, not as dogma, but as a way to access what lies beyond words. Koans reinforce this principle. Zen isn't about collecting knowledge. It's about seeing into the nature of reality. As the great master Rinzai said, if you meet someone who's mastered Zen, they have nothing to teach you. Koans point you inward. They're not stepping stones to a goal. They are the goal because they reveal the mind to itself. You don't need to be in a monastery to explore koans. Here's a way to start. Choose a koan that resonates with you. Sit in meditation with it, not to solve it, but to let it work on you. Notice your thoughts, then return to the koan. Let the question deepen. Don't rush. Be open to insight. It may arise as a feeling, a silence, or a shift in perception. Remember, you're not answering the koan. You're living it. Interestingly, life itself is full of koans. Questions without easy answers. Situations that challenge logic. Emotional paradoxes like loving someone who hurts you or finding peace in grief. When you begin to see life through the lens of Zen, every moment becomes a koan. Every encounter a teaching. In the end, koans don't give you anything. They take away everything that's false. They leave you empty, and in that emptiness, something luminous begins to shine. The sound of one hand clapping is not a sound at all. It's the sound of awakening. If this journey through paradox opened something in you, or at least made you pause, then you're already touching the spirit of Zen. Subscribe to The Unfolding Journey for more explorations of Eastern wisdom, meditative practice, and the beauty of questions that have no answers. Click the bell to stay updated, and drop your favorite koan in the comments below. Until next time, sit, listen, wonder, and keep unfolding.